Good morning, welcome to our meditation, our reflection for Passion Sunday, 2 weeks to go to Easter. On Ash Wednesday at the beginning of Lent, if you were with us, I recommended that during Lent we focus our prayers on the Lord's Prayer, in treasuring and unpacking what each phrase means, and I also suggested that you might consider the order in which they appear, because I am sure that Jesus did not put them together in a random fashion. In fact, the Lord's Prayer is, as I said on that occasion, Jesus' own prayer, and when we pray it, we are, as it were, kneeling alongside him, praying to his Father, and he in his grace invites us to say, he's your Father too, so it's our Father. Now, the order of the Lord's Prayer is something we take for granted, but it's something that this man, Metropolitan Antony, explored in an incredibly helpful and wise way in his book Living Prayer, which was published first in 1966 and is included in this anthology of his work, The Essence of Prayer. What Metropolitan Antony says is that the Lord's Prayer, as we pray it in that order, actually reverses our normal way of praying and thinking. The first thing that we pray for when we are children usually is keep us safe. You remember those lovely prayers that you may have said on your bed or by your bed. God bless mummy, God bless daddy, and so on. Prayers really of protection. And Jesus was no stranger to those prayers. He too wanted to pray for protection for himself and for others. That's why deliver us from evil is at the end of the Lord's Prayer. It's there. It's not something we don't have to pray for. But in the Lord's Prayer it is at the end. It's not the first thing we pray for. Imagine for a moment you are a football coach, and in the dressing room before the game you go round the room and you say to the players, what's your aim today? And somebody might say, well, I really hope we win this match. I really want us to please the fans, and I really want us to bring honour to the name of this great football club. And then you come to somebody else and you say, what's your aim today? He said, well, I hope I get off the pitch without being injured. Well, that's not quite the right way of looking at it. We're here not just to protect ourselves, but for a greater goal. Literally, a goal in football, of course. And Jesus, in the Lord's Prayer, is asking us to consider what our real aim in life is. As the Spice Girls put it, tell us what you want, what you really, really want. And Metropolitan Antony says that the life of prayer, praying the Lord's Prayer, slowly but surely turns around our priorities. From that early childhood, just keep us all safe prayer, to the wider vision, to the aim that God's name be hallowed. That is what we are praying for first and foremost in the Lord's Prayer. But it takes a lifetime to turn it round in our own minds so that that really is what we want, rather than just to be protected from all harm and all possible trouble in our lives. In our Gospel reading today, we see Jesus completing his journey, as it were, into this prayer. You remember that some Greek people come and ask if they can see Jesus, and Philip tells Andrew goes to Jesus, and Jesus says somehow he realizes that this is a crucial moment. He says the time has come, the kairos moment Not any old day, not any old time, but the time. Kairos, of course, used in that wonderful document in South Africa at the end of apartheid, or towards the end of apartheid. The time has come for change. And Jesus says, as he reflects now on the fact that he knows he's going to die, he says, anyone who loves his life will lose it. Anyone who hates their life in this world will keep it. He's really talking to himself, I think, at this point. And he says, now my soul is troubled. And here comes the crunch. What shall I say? Father, save me from this hour. In other words, shall I say, deliver me from evil? No, he says. It is for this very reason that I came to this hour, to this Kairos moment. Father, he says, glorify your name. In other words, hallowed be thy name. So Jesus here is acting out, as it were, this prayer that he taught us, because, as I said, it's his prayer. Father, glorify your name. That is my number one aim, he says. And if that means going to the cross, I will go to the cross, even though I know that's a terrible, evil place to be. I will go there because my aim is, above all else, to glorify your name. That's my prayer, and that's my life. And indeed, that will be my death. And that's what we're reflecting on this Passion Sunday. So once again, as we come now towards the end of Lent, could I invite you to reflect upon the Lord's Prayer and the order of those petitions that we know so well within it. Why do they come in that order? Ask yourself that question and see if you can come to some sort of conclusion. And if you're stuck, get hold of Metropolitan Anthony's Living Prayer, published in 1966. Look up the chapter on the Lord's Prayer and you will gain great wisdom and insight from that wonderful man of prayer. So God bless you and thank you for being with us on this Passion Sunday.